Well, it's now Saturday. We actually had the drone yesterday, but we had a lot going on yesterday. It was a beautiful day. Am I ever glad we didn't drone today? What a miserable, dreary day it is out. It's only like 7 degrees, but it's really damp and cold out here today. So it worked out really good that we droned on Friday instead of Saturday. We had a long day, almost 5 hours. So yesterday was the first time we went 2 trips with a lot of the horses. We figured it out after, just in the baby barn alone, 87 training miles yesterday. We had 54, 53 horses trained. Obviously 30 of them, I guess, went 2 trips. So long day yesterday. Finally broke through at the racetrack. We've been struggling trying to move the horses around, this week and find some spots for them. And really, you know, sold some, had a couple claimed off us, moved them around. Ollie's trying to come in the car. You put him in the other side. But we finally broke through and he can sit in the front, and had a good week at the track. Real Willie was our first win at the Mohawk meet, which is embarrassing in its own right, I guess. It's been 3 weeks on now. So Real Willie won. Boston Glide was second, raced awesome, trotted in 58 and a bit. Who else? Beta Lion Blue Chip was second, third. She raced really good again. We've just been having a good run all week, to be honest. So I'll run through them. Nothing too bad. The only crappy part, Facing Justice, we claimed this horse, and we just can't seem to get that abscess out of his foot. You can see it there at the back of his heel. It's bubbled out, and there's a split forming. So it's a bit of a mess in there, but it's a frustrating thing, you know, especially since the horse we were going to claim has won 2 in a row since we didn't claim him. And the one that I thought was the right claim has an abysmal 7th or 8th and then no start. So frustrating start for the Facing Justice group, and I do apologize, but that is racing, and we'll get him back on track. It's just going to take a little time. I hate saying another week. We'll get him back on track as soon as we can. There is a dirty abscess in there we're trying to get cleaned up, and we'll have more information, I guess, first of the week. The abscess itself has not blown out, so he is still quite a bit lame on that. I think it's left front foot. Kevin said he could see a split forming on the back of his foot, so something's coming there. The problem with an abscess, when it's in the foot like that and walled up, it has to build up pressure, and then the only place it can go is up and out the flesh on the top of the foot. It would take an incredible amount of pressure to blow out the actual wall of the foot. That does happen sometimes, but it looks like something's going to blow out the back of the foot. So we're trying to get him on track quickly. So we'll run down the race horses. As I said, we had a decent week. Honey, turn that down. Right down to 0. We had a decent week. And Ollie, did you see any races this week? Yeah. Ollie, who'd you see? Ricky? What are you talking about? You saw Willie. Didn't you see Willie win? So Real Willie got the job done. He got the star of the week for the racing side for sure. So let's go through it. Airway also won on Thursday, which is really important because obviously perfectly when you come to visit your horses, if you're from abroad, from away, we'd love to win races for you and get your picture taken, get a headshot, and have a good memory for you. Doesn't always happen that way, but it did this week for Paul Johnson from England. Him and his friend came over from England. They have some friends here they were meeting, and Paul came out to the races on Thursday. We had the 6 hole. Didn't really know how things would shake down, but it worked out really well for Airway on Thursday night. American League got the week off. He got the week off, raced with 7 or 8 weeks in a row, has never drawn good once, and actually raced a little poor his last start, so we gave him the week off to recuperate. We're mulling over the idea of taking him to the Buckeye Series next Saturday in Ohio. Zeppelin B, who we'll touch on later, raced well this week. Makes sense to take him there. Wind Chaser's already in Ohio. We're having a little problem with Wind Chaser and Redwood again and McKinnon. We sent them down to Ohio first to Virgil Morgan, and they're going to end up at Dan Ader's place Monday morning. So I'm a little torn. you know, Real Willie, that bunch went in 51 last week at Miami Valley. I had no interest in running Real Willie down there to race for $15,000 in the Buckeye Series when I can race for 18 Canadian 15 minutes away. So that makes no sense to me. I think he's going to stay put. But Zeppelin B might find his way down there. Wind Chaser's already down there. Maybe American League, who knows. Broadway Maya tied up a little bit her last start at Mohawk. Was having a pretty good run up until that point in the condition claimers. We tried her a couple of starts in the condition race at Mohawk. It didn't work out that well. So obviously she's going to find her way back in to the condition claiming ranks on Monday, where she did some damage in the recent past, and we're going to hope to start to build on that again. She only fits that class for about 3 or 4 more wins, so hopefully we can take one of those off the ledger on Monday night. Buckeye Babe. Now, I'm in a bit of a tough spot sometimes. You know, when we're at multiple tracks, I try to figure out, you know, it's not like I'm Stanley Dancer, but I'd like to figure out where I'm needed the most. And I looked at London, and we had Promise Blue Chip, who I kind of thought was a lock in the condition claimer. We had Sally DeVee, again, was going to do well, I believed, in the condition claimer. And then we had Buckeye Babe, who's coming off 2 decent trips. I thought she should have won 2 starts ago when I raced her. But Robert Shepard's a leading driver in Canada, I believe, and has done very, very well. Great set of hands on him for a driver. I figured, you know what, I'll go drive Tortola Sunrise at Mohawk. He's coming off a qualifier and a break. Might be a better spot for me and for Tortola if I'm at Mohawk. Went to Mohawk, kept Tortola Sunrise trotting, finished 5th. He raced okay, mediocre, but okay. And I watched Promise Blue Chip make a break in the first turn. Sally DeVee get away 8th, finish 2nd. And Buckeye Babe make a break coming out of the first turn. Just a bad night. Just a bad night all around. You need a haircut. Look at the look of this thing. Look at the mop on your head. Lord above, boy. You are going to get your haircut. So it was a bad Friday night all around. Not horrible, but not great. Boston Glide, we touched on him, raced tremendous the other night. Left with him from the rail. This is a big, flabby, lazy colt that's not even remotely close to being matured. And when you really stir him up at the gate, he can get out of there. And if you'd watched his first 2 starts, you know, James coming off his first start, I don't blame James or Drury. They raced him rather easy. And you got to be a little more stern with Boston Glide. I got him on his toes leaving the gate. We were at the 8th in like 14 seconds, up to the quarter in 29 and a piece. Released a long shot. Ended up moving out of the 2-hole around the last turn, getting picked off by a well-placed even money or below even money favorite of Chris Christoforous that really just pounced on us. And Boston Glide was not used to that speed. Certainly not a 2-move race like that. Still trotted in 58, finished 2nd. Raced great. Very, very happy with him. Fan the Flames, same race. Finished 4th, 59, 28 and a piece on the end of it. He's coming every week. You see that progression with Fan the Flames. And I know a couple of the owners get a little pissed off when I say it's a process, but it is. Every colt, every filly is different. You have to treat them accordingly. And Fan the Flames has been a little slower to get things under control and moving forward. But obviously, last race was his best race. We're going to try and build on that again this Monday, which will be tonight when you watch it. Canali Hanover Lawmaker. So we're going to touch on Cruising in Style in a minute, who qualified tremendously on Monday. Monday morning, I schooled Canali Hanover and Lawmaker. They were both very, very good. I didn't go with Lawmaker. I got James to go with Lawmaker. I touched on this with a lot of our clients, and this is something I don't really want to delve into that much, other than to say we're closing in on 500 clients. At some point this year, we'll get to 500 clients. And I didn't start TheStable.ca with my wife to resurrect any sort of a mediocre driving career. I started to get people involved in the game and to have fun in the game, and for us hopefully to do well and bring some excitement to the general public at an affordable price. That's what TheStable.ca is. So for me, it's pretty difficult for me to foresee an opportunity where I could drive Lawmaker potentially in the Hamiltonian as Brian Sears or Yannick Gingras or Scott Zeron or my brother Mark or anybody else that is a world-class driver is sitting in the driver's room watching it. I don't think it's fair to the horse. I don't think it's fair to our clients. When it comes to the 2-year-olds, I believe that I bring something to the table the other drivers don't. When it comes to the 2-year-olds, you're trying to teach them how to race. You're trying to keep their comfort level high and their stress level low. And me going with all these horses all year and knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are, I think that's a feather in our cap. I could be wrong, but I believe it is. So especially for a lot of the trotters, I'm going to try and race a lot of the 2-year-old trotters I can this year. But when it comes to... Okay, 1 second. But when it comes to the 3-year-olds, a horse like Lawmaker's pretty push button. And there's no need for me to be driving Lawmaker. I really am flattered that a lot of our clients want me to. And I will if I'm needed to. But there's a lot of really, really good drivers out there that could do... if we're trying to beat the best trotters in the world, we should have the best equipment. We should have the best trainer. We should have the best driver. We should have the best horse. And for me, as much as I believe I'm a good driver, I'm not the best driver. And I'm not a world-class driver. I'm just a good driver on a decent day. So I'm going to stick to the 2-year-olds and the 3-year-olds that we already have pointed towards major stake races. If we can find better drivers for them, then we should put them on. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being the guy hitting in the number 6 or 7 slot, you know, for the Jays or the Red Sox or the Yankees. There's nothing wrong with being the guy they call in the 6th or 7th inning. You're not the closer. You're not batting cleanup. And we want to have our best reliever, if you will, on the mound in the bottom of the 9th. We want to have our best batter at the plate, you know, when the game's on the line. And for me, I think it's a responsibility to our clients and our horses to make sure that that is the case. So I won't be driving Lawmaker this year for the most part. I think Andrew is comfortable in saying that he believes he can get David Miller to drive the horse. If not, James, Mark, Brian, Yannick, anybody will really do the trick. But I don't think there's a necessity for it to be me. So, on with the show. Canali, Hanover, and Lawmaker schooled very, very well last Monday. They'll be schooling again this Monday at Mohawk, qualifying the Monday after. I was planning on hopefully getting a race in them, but it looks more like they're going right to Pennsylvania. For me, I'm not worried about racing in that non-winners of 3 with Lawmaker. That one start in the non-winners of 3 could be the difference between, you know, him being fresh on Breeders' Crown Night, if that's what we're hoping for. So we have bigger fish to fry, so to speak, than the non-winners of 3 at Mohawk or the non-winners of 2 for Canali, Hanover. And Lawmaker, we're looking long-term with these colts, and I think having one less race to have them a little fresh is a feather in our cap. So we're looking at a next Monday qualifier for them. Real Willie, as I touched on him, star of the week. Big Willie broke through lifetime mark 154 and 2 at Mohawk. Rose Run Speedster back in the swing of things, raced well at London, locked in. Bit of a tiny controversy with Rose Run Speedster. Some of our clients are a little torn. They want to race him in the 12 to 15 claimer. Others want to race him in the 20 to 25. For me, there was no love lost between me and Rose Run. I thought he was a nice horse. He did us a lot of great things for me and for our barn at 2. And at 3, we had a little, some speed bumps with him, and Renee ended up training him. Then we put him in the Harrisburg sale, and a number of our clients retained him. I sold my shares of Rose Run Speedster. I don't own any of them now. But our clients are looking to, you know, when I step back and look at it and just take a look at the big picture, it's tough to find a good horse. Tough to find a solid, check-getting, sound horse with speed, and Rose Run Speedster's all those. So for me, I don't want to dump him in a 12 to 15 claimer to lose him. If we have to, we will. I believe he's competitive in the 20 to 25. We'll see how he is tonight. He raced on Wednesday. See, what happened was we couldn't get in for 2 weeks. The 20 to 25 didn't fill, so we entered him in the preferred 3 or something in London, and he ended up 4th, raced really well. Then they had called Jason and said, hey, we're trying to fill this class. We have 7 horses. We need Rose Run Speedster to fill it. So Jason entered the horse. So he's back on 3 days' notice. I wouldn't call it ideal. A little tough for him, but we need the class to go if it's going to fill every week. So hope he does well tonight. I'm driving him. I was very impressed with how he handled London on Wednesday. So hoping for good things tonight with him. Zeppelin B, we touched on Zeppelin B. Tremendous effort the other night. Again, we had some trouble with a couple of our clients said, geez, you know, he's 50 to 40 to 1 or something his first start. Can we not get him in easier? just let it take place. You know, let Zeppelin be round into shape. He's not going to be at in top gear on his first start back of 2018 and with experienced some of them aged horses. And he raced well the other night, got away well from the rail, ended up in a perfect striking spot, but had to strike on a filly that raced in the Breeders' Crown last year, which didn't work out that well. He ended up racing very well, finished third, beaten by two very, very good fillies in, geez, I forget the one filly's name. Jordan Blue Chip was the other one. Very good mare, made 100,000 last year or two, raced in the Breeders' Crown in the Peaceful Way. I forget the other filly's name. Anyway, obviously a nice filly. Dougie ducked her to the inside, and she trotted past Jordan Blue Chip at the wire. Beat me by, I don't know, 2 or 3 lengths, but Zeppelin B raced very, very well. Sally DeVee, second last night, came from 8th at the quarter to finish second in a 1:16 9-horse field at London. Raced exceedingly well. Beat maybe 3 or 4 lengths, but raced really, really well. Very happy with what I saw from her. That's Jason's burn. Now we'll move on to Kevin's burn. Stonebridge Hall raced really, really well, or is training really, really well. Almost ready to go. Kevin said he's going to train him at 210 in the race bike on Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll go from there. So every week it's a week-to-week basis with this horse. We came this far. We got him ready now. We got him good. Kevin has him looking fantastic and trotting great. So 210 Monday or Tuesday in the bike. Facing Justice, I touched on with that abscess in his foot. We're trying to get that cleaned up and get him back on schedule. He's literally been in the stall for 6 days, so it's been a bit of a pain in the butt, but we're getting to the bottom of that. I have a new phone app, and it used to, when the phone rang, it used to just let me hit ignore, but I hit ignore now and it shut everything down, so I hope nobody else calls me. Facing Justice, yeah, I said he was in the stall for a few days. Little frustrated over that, but that's racing. I mean, there's not much we can do about that at this point. We're working on it and getting it done as best we can. Road Tripper was sick his last start and bled. The plan for Road Tripper is to school him Monday on Lasix and see if he schools better, scope him after, and then make a decision if we're going to add him to the Lasix program or just do our best to treat him up. Dancing at Midland, another horse, we just scratch him Thursday night. He was sick 2 weeks ago, come back okay. Trained a little flat in between. I had mentioned that last week, and then raced a little flat. And when we treated him for the sickness, you would think you put him on antibiotics, you treat him up, and away you go. But if it's viral and you're not treating him with the right antibiotic, you might see the symptoms subside, but that virus might still be there. And I believe that was the case with Dancing at Midland. Especially looking back at the way he schooled before he raced, and then how he raced, and then leading up to the race again, off antibiotics for 10 days, he had that mucus again. So we have him on a different antibiotic, a little more broad spectrum, lower grade that can, I believe, over the next 4 or 5 days, he'll be fine, and we'll be able to school him next Thursday and get him back in to go. Last thing we want to do is keep racing this colt when he's not at 100%. So for the people that own him, I know it's a little frustrating. We're just going to take our time, make sure it's right. There's lots of time for this colt. He's every bit as good as Real Willie, and Real Willie manhandled that class last week. So not to worry, we're getting him cleaned up, and he'll be back at 100% soon. Tortola Sunrise, a little bit of a lackluster effort last night. He's on that left line a little bit. He's going to try and find his way. Geez, he's never looked as good as he looks right now as far as how he looks. But, and you love, this is Toasties I'm talking about. Toasties raced last night and you didn't even notice. So raced a little flat. We're going to try and get him under control and find a better spot for this horse. At the end of the day, we need to find a more consistent racing level for Tortola Sunrise. Delmar J again. Kevin asked to give him a little bit of a week. We got him under control. I think Kevin's got him looking good. I saw him on the track today. He looked really good. What do you got there? What do you got there? Oh, I see. We got him under control now, so he'll race next Saturday. I think we'll be able to get him on a more consistent basis moving forward. Happy Holidays, almost ready to go. Kevin trained her in 2.8 today. I didn't see her go, but he said she was really good. She's always impressive when she's going those slower miles too. Soon, yeah, she's coming up soon. So Happy Holidays look good again today. 2.8 today. I would say the classes she has to race in I'd like to see her train in 2 minutes over this track, so I'm going to guess 10 days to 2 weeks for Happy Holidays. Pay the Line Blue Chip race good again this week. Really turned into be a consistent little filly now. As you can recall, she was making a lot of breaks earlier on. I think the corks were really biting at those splints she has, and now we got them under control, got the corks off, and she's really, really good. Blasted out of there the other day. I got locked in, got charging late at the wire. Pace 57 in a bet at London. Huge mile for that little filly. So very impressed with her. Cruising in Style. I don't know why I didn't start with him. Cruising in Style is back. Qualified in 57 last quarter in 28. Sylvain Filion went with him. He trained him the week before with us, and I had said to him, you may as well go with him. For the same reasons. Yeah, Cruising in Style. And raced really, really well. Qualified really well. Blew them away. Opened up by 8 or 9 lengths down the lane. He's got a lot of work to do to be somebody who's going to be a horse to deal with in the top echelon of the New York sires, but he raced against those colts last year. We're pointing him towards the Empire and the Breeders' Cup at Vernon Downs in 2 weeks. 2 weeks' time. He's leaving here Monday morning, I believe, Kevin said, to head to Andrew Harris in New Jersey. So Cruising in Style. I don't think he'll have time to get a start into him. It's not really a big deal. He can school him or qualify him somewhere and then get him right in to go in the Empire Stakes on the 11th. Okay, Beck's Pride. You know, Beck's Pride tries. He's not a very good horse right now. He tries his heart out, and he's got a beautiful gait, so I'm assuming he'll get better. He's picking up checks and not really paying his way, but not really forcing my hand where we have to really sell him or move him on. You know, for the people out there buying into Beck's Pride or keeping your shares of Beck's Pride, I own a significant chunk of Beck's Pride, and I'm not that concerned. I don't like losing money, but I'll call it somewhere between kicking the can down the road right now and a decision to be made with Beck's Pride and just investing in him, because he does got a good gait, he's got a decent family, and he wants to do his work. He's not a sour horse, so I'm going to allow that horse to progress. We're going to call him on probation for right now. I don't think he's solidified his stance at the stable thus far, but he's done well in regards to picking up checks, if you will. Master Saver, ready to race tomorrow night. Wasn't super impressed with his qualifier. He is one. I don't have one, sweetie. Not really impressed with what he's done of late. I expect more from this colt. I know he has a lot more to offer. Just hasn't really put it forward. So we're going to race him tomorrow, and if he lets me down, that might be the end of the road for Master Saver. But we'll see. We'll see. Book the Bet. You know, here's an underachiever. She'll give you around 85 or 90% no matter what day of the week it is. She's an underachiever, but I think she's got like 10 out of 11 starts in the top 3. She raced a mile and a 16th off 25 days the other day and still won. She's found a way to win, so it's not like she won't win. She will win, and won the other day. Very impressive. Very, very impressed with this filly. She's got the City of London pacing series coming up. No reason to believe she can't do in there. So things are looking good for her. Last and certainly not least, Art Seeker. Art Seeker, a little story. Art Seeker doesn't like to be on the front. This is twice I got caught on the front with him like an idiot. First time I put him there on purpose. I thought it was the right place to be with him, and he got picked off. Now the other night, I ended up landing in 3rd. Now I was behind a long shot, and the second favorite, or the favorite even maybe, was on the front end, right where I wanted to be. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't moving first over. I was staying right there. The horse on the front makes a break at the quarter pole for absolutely no reason. Rolls off stride. So now I'm stuck behind a 30-to-1 shot with the second and third, or the same types of horses as Art, about to move. I had to make a decision, and I moved him to the front. He felt really well, kind of lost himself in the last turn, come back on down the lane, finished second, beat 3/4 of a length. Really happy with what I saw from Art Seeker. Raced tremendously, and he has been doing fantastic the last 3 weeks. Where are you going, Turkey? Do you want to tell everybody about what you've been good at? So Ollie, we went out and got Ollie a baseball glove and a helmet. Look, Ollie, tell everybody how far you can hit the ball.
I can hit like 12 feet away.
12 feet. No, I think he can hit it farther than that. He hit it right over the road. Right over the road the other day, Ollie. Luckily, there wasn't any cars coming, so we don't play baseball in the front yard anymore. So Ollie hit it right onto the road the other day. He can really hit the ball, and he's throwing good. So Ollie's going to have some summertime playing baseball and coming on the road with Mom and Dad. we're gonna put the kids in some camp, but we're really looking forward to this year. Just really going full gypsy mode, and gonna head out on the road with some of the 2-year-olds and stuff. So really excited about what the summer of 2018 is about to bring for us. And kids are pumped. Ollie likes staying in the hotel rooms and going in the pool. So I remember when I was a kid, you know, my dad used to take me to St. John and Moncton to go to Monktonian Week, for those of you that are Maritimers, over in Moncton. And I remember going to the big exhibition in St. John when I was a kid. We used to stay in a hotel there, same hotel every year, a nice pool and stuff. And some of the best memories I had as a kid. So we're going to take the kids on the road this year and go and race the horses. You can do a little racing in Indiana and do a little racing in Pennsylvania, Ohio. Might even show up the odd time in Illinois. Might stay home sometimes too and race in Ontario. But the way the babies trained the other day and the way they've been training, it is going to be an exciting year for the McDonald family, and hopefully you, our new family, in North America, all over North America and the world, I guess. So for us, that is the race horses. We're going to be moving on here in a second to movers of the week. Top five movers of the week, horse to watch of the week. For those of you who watched the drone videos, there's a couple of horses that really come out of left field and really strutted their stuff from nowhere the other day. And then we have our top 10. Had some changes in the top 10 also. Be back in a second with movers, top 10, and all the babies.